Get this man a vest. Lots of violence when Rock is wildin'. Shots is silent. He gonna wake up with the docs around and stop the clown. I'll bring a Glock around him. All the shots will go from me to your man, Robert Townsend.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I put out a tweet recently and I asked people what is going on with the decline of battle rap views. And a lot of the responses they said, and this is just the people talking, and I want to get your opinion on this. They were saying that the URL app existing and y'all no longer dropping battles on YouTube at the frequency that y'all did was the reason for the overall decline of views on YouTube. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a myriad of different reasons why there is a decline. I could see that possibly being a reason because we are the algorithm for battle rap. So, like, when we would do these big battles and put them out, you would see the next selected video. So then other leagues could, like, strategize for releases around the same time that we would because, you know, when our videos are going off, then it'll roll over into another video. So, you know, plus, we put out the majority of the content. Like, our output is like literally 7 to 8 times more than anyone else's. So I could see where that gap could kind of lead to a decline because if other people aren't putting out as much content, people are going online searching for it, and then they're just thinking that it doesn't exist anymore if they're not aware of the app. So that could be some of that could be true. Some of it also is just there being so many leagues, there's no real, like, order anymore. Like, everybody battles everywhere all the time at any time, you know, and that
That's a fact.
also kind of, like, definitely hurts things. So it's a couple of things. But I think that, you know, over time, things will level out, changes will come. You know, you meet challenges in any form of business that you're in, and you know, this is just one of the you know, one of the obstacles that, you know, we overcome as a culture.
Okay. Okay, well, speaking of overcoming obstacles, do you feel like that decline in battle rap views due to the app, supposedly, does that hinder the growth of creating new superstars in battle rap? Because if they can't get those constant major YouTube drops, how do we develop new stars?
I mean, I think, I don't think that. I don't agree with that because I've looked over the last couple of years, right? And there's a lot of people that do battles now, right? And they have access to YouTube. And, you know, and I'm saying this in the most respectful way, but none of these platforms are creating stars. And when I mean stars, I don't mean that they are mega stars, but just people who have notoriety in the culture that could go on to be on a card that would be perceived as being big. Like, all these years, we haven't seen anybody take a guy from 0 to 100. Now, of course, there's smaller platforms that the bigger leagues look to, and then they pull those guys up into their system, and then they build them up, and, you know, they put, you know, energy behind them. So, of course, everybody comes from somewhere. There's a local league, and we need all the leagues to be able to find talent. So, you know, it's just like MMA or boxing. You know, we go, we look, we scout, we find guys, we give them an audition, we put them out in front of the world, we take chances, and sometimes we get stars, and sometimes we get people that you don't like. But we can't be the only people doing that. We can't be the only people spending the money and putting them in front of bigger names to draw attention to them, doing stuff like Final Exam and the Proving Grounds and the Crucible and this and that, and bringing them in and putting them in one-rounders before big events. No one else is taking those chances, and no one else has been able to develop anyone. So we're doing with this with guys that are living. The majority of them are on the app, right? And then if that was an issue, you have all these other platforms that have full access to their channels, and a lot of them have big channels. Some of them over 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, and they're not breaking any new artists. And they have YouTube. So why are people not watching it? If it's so available and these people are so good, why are they not watching those guys? That's something that you have to ask the viewer.
Okay. Well, to push back on what you're saying, recently, salute to Hitman Holla. He had a what many deem as event of the year with Power Moves. The headlining battle did 1.5 million views in 1 week, and those are crazy numbers. Why can we say that with with the increase, like doing a million in 1 week, to me seems like there is a fan base there that wants to see YouTube drops. Is that true? Or how do you feel about that?
Oh, of course they do. I mean, people want to see drops, and Hitman Holla'S one of the biggest stars in the culture. So is Geechee. So when you combine two mega stars into one battle, that's the reaction that you're going to get. But if you look overall in the last few years, there's been a massive decline in battles that reach a million views. Period. Even throughout the year. But kind of like what you said, like, you know, you can't. On one hand, we can't say, oh, it's still there, and then there's a decline. There's certain stuff that people are just gonna watch because if you have megastars in these spaces and they're showing up and the material is good and it's good battles, people are gonna watch it.
Okay, so speaking of people watching, what's the relationship with URL and Hitman Holler?
I mean, to my knowledge, is cool. I don't know that it's any different. I mean, I don't speak to Hitman every day,
I
but
mean, I recently had a space, Bees, and in the space, he strongly expressed his views on. You had an interview, and you had said that you said behave, right, and you talked
oh
about
god,
emotional maturity and stuff, and I felt that you were. I don't want to speak for you. Can you tell us what
right?
what was that about?
Nah, I mean, you got to understand, man. Like that's just how I speak. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I don't think I said anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm guessing it's based on what I said in reaction to bars over politics. Like, because I think like around that time, like he went online and he said that bars over politics was being done to like stop his event or whatever. That nothing was going to stop that event. That event was being promoted since the weekend of Summer Madness, so it had legs already. It was a great event. It was nothing that was going to stop that event. So I just felt like him saying that, was just a little out of line. Now I don't know if it was just battle rap banter, and I don't take those things seriously. But if somebody's asking me about it, I'm going to express how I feel, and what I said was, come on, like it's not like it was. I do battles all the time, basically. That's like somebody coming and telling you, like, yo, you can't hustle at this time. I got your workers, and you can't hustle on your block. Like, you got to wait and hustle at the time that I say you can. Come on, man. We all out here working, and, it was a great opportunity to do the event, and it didn't have anybody that was on his event. It wasn't the same weekend as his event. It had nothing that was interfering with his event. Now I could see like if I went and I hired Geechee, Gotti, Rex, and put all these guys all on one event, then people could kind of say like, oh, that's being done to sabotage his event. But it wasn't even on the same weekend. It wasn't. It was like 2 weeks. There was so many events that happened like over this season that were like 2 weeks apart from each other, and my event is no different. But it's like everybody else could do events whenever they want, take the names, flip stuff around, and it's cool. I do an event 2 weeks away from somebody else's with a whole different set of people, and then we still get demonized and placed as the bad guy. But you know what though? I'm not even taking it like it could have just been hype for him to to like add some fuel to his event, but like if I don't think anybody's above being checked. Like if I'm I told him to behave because I thought that was demonstrating bad behavior. If we're being honest, but like if I demonstrate bad behavior, somebody could check me. And if I believe that I was wrong or I said something that was like out of line or disrespectful, I'll gladly say, you know what, maybe I was bugging.
Okay,
Sometimes we all bug out. So
okay,
you know what I mean. It wasn't like I wasn't
it
disrespecting
wasn't
him.
malicious.
And the only reason why I even said anything publicly is because he said it publicly. Like if he would have called me behind the scenes and be like, "Yo, Bees, what's up, man?" Like we would have spoken about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'd have talked to him about it. But like sometimes I have to say things now because I generally take the high road, and the high road leads us into trouble because then people create their own narratives with these stories, and then the next thing you know, URL's the bad guy. Why didn't I say anything?
Hold on, Bees. I
You know
got to
what I'm
give you
saying?
pushback. I got to
So
give you pushback because
yeah,
for a long time, there's been rumors of URL scheduling events around the time as their competitors to ruin their events. What do you say to that? Are these just rumors, or why is that a narrative that's out there?
I don't know. I don't know. Like we do more events than everybody, right? So and listen, I promise y'all, I'm speaking humbly. We just do a lot of events. You know what I'm saying? Like we do a lot of events all the time. So there's gonna be times like I reschedule event. Like this summer, I rescheduled 2 different times just because other
Okay, tell us
people.
when you were scheduled for other people.
Um, one there was an event with Hollow and Av, right? That there was that event.
Okay.
I had that date locked in with a venue, but that league announced it first, so I just switched the date because I know if I did it on that date, oh my God, URLs out there advertising. It's so disrespectful. It's so foul and jealous. So I changed the date.
Okay.
Then,
So they announced first, and y'all changed the date
right,
out of respect for their
I
event.
changed the date, right?
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with a whole nother date. So I deaded a venue, lost a little deposit. So you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to go. I don't want to do that because I know that they're gonna say, oh, this is done maliciously, and then it's gonna be this big campaign. The blogger's gonna pick it up. So I said, all right, I'm gonna chill. Then the next time, here it comes. King of the Dot. That date. I had that date.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And y'all changed y'all date for King of the Dot.
Switched the date. Cause then, same thing. Oh, they're just mad because they have some of the URL guys and they're gonna try to attack them. You know, they come up with these conspiracy theories in anything that we do. So I changed that date, right? Then I
Okay.
switched to Louisiana.
That's right. That's right.
Goddamn hurricane. I get a hurricane comes, right? I I'm like, oh shit, you know. And people don't understand, like it was so difficult, right? Because even though like they got the streets clear, it's still Thursday night, right? I'm flying 20 people to Louisiana, to New Orleans. Now I don't know if the streets are going to be clear, if the power is going to work, if the streaming is going to work. Yeah, the streets are open, but did the internet get knocked out in the storm? Then all the people get there, right? Then we still have to do the battle, and then we can't stream. So then we lose money. And then guess what happens? Everybody wants to get paid. Nobody wants any understanding. And then the next thing everybody's like, oh, that's foul. URL didn't pay the guys. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy, man. They had them perform and they didn't want to pay them. Yo, that's crazy. That's not their fault. So I made a executive decision. I said, let's move it to somewhere where we know the internet's going to work. There's going to be people are going to get the battle, and we moved. We had to move. I can't. Like it's too short of a time span between Thursday and Saturday to make a decision in the market when there's flooding and I'm looking on TV and the floods are up 6 feet tall. I can't take that chance.
Okay. You know
So
what?
people
I
don't
respect
understand.
that. I respect that, Bees. I'm gonna accept that as an answer, but I got a different question for you.